Hello retail traders, I'm Washboardjim with a sneaky snake trading strategy where I love to talk about chart patterns, moving averages, and being in the now. And right now we're going to talk about SPX. We're going to talk about the chart pattern that I recognized first thing in the morning to take the trade. And there's another clue why I wanted to take the trade. And we're going to go ahead and look at it. The SPX. So right out of the gate, I noticed that we had this little mega pattern going on Thursday into close, and as we come in first thing in the morning, this is called the broadening formation or a megaphone pattern. And I'm going to go ahead and put this in the bottom of the page, and you're going to see what it's all about. But megaphone patterns can go in any way. They're not always perfect. We have one going down, we have one going up. Where's that one going up? Right there, and then we have one just going kind of straight out. But how to trade a megaphone pattern or a broadening out or an expansion pattern, you can call it any way you want. And I'm going to go ahead and put this stuff in the bottom of the content under the encyclopedia on how to trade the megaphone pattern. And it can give you some kind of rules to go by if you want to learn how to trade this pattern. It's a very volatile pattern, and it's actually a great pattern to trade if you can learn how to trade it. Now if you can count to 3, you can trade with me. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So remember what I just said. If you can count to 3, you can trade with me. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So we're going to go straight to that chart. As you notice, we had a broadening out expansion megaphone pattern started out on Thursday. And then we came in Friday morning. So there was 2 things that I really liked taking this trade on. One was the 1, 2, 3, and I recognized the megaphone. And then another reason is we had this big gap down. Then we had another gap down right at open. So that really excited me. And we kind of watched it for a little bit. And then I jumped in the trade once we hit this number 3 down here on that megaphone. 1, 2, 3 right at open, and this is a little head and shoulders right here. So you can go ahead and draw your little head and shoulders line all the way across it. That's your left shoulder, and that's your right shoulder, and that's your head. So I had 3 reasons to take this trade. And then I wanted to take it and run it back up to the top of this first candle and scalp it. And that's exactly what I did. I got in and out of that trade and kept a few contracts just in case it wanted to go ahead and break out to the 63 or to the 200 SMA. I used moving averages. We had the 9 cross over the 21, which is a bullish indicator. Then we had these 3 little white soldiers right here. Came back and retested that opening price. See, this is the opening price. I want you to remember that a little bit later. The opening price. So we come out, we broke out, we pulled back right to that opening price, which I found out to be a solid support. So right out of the gate, we recognized the megaphone pattern. We took the trade and run it up to resistance and got out of the trade, and then she went ahead and broke out big time. Kind of regretted not being in that at that time. Well, I had 2 contracts. I sold them, and then I sold the rest on the way up when we had these 3 white soldiers. 1, 2, 3. She started breaking on out. So and we pulled back to the 200 and had another little, could have took that little trade up there and got out at that top right up there. 1, 2, 3, boom, out of the trade. Then she comes back, and I called this out in the room. I said, hey, we pulled back to that opening price, and you could go ahead and try to scalp this trade off that opening price if this here holds. And we had this big snake right here. So she broke out of that snake and then consolidated, and once that 9 crossed the 21, it went ahead and started bouncing up and hit your resistance at the 200 SMA. So that was another exit idea once it hit that 200 SMA. And that's on the 1 minute time frame. Once it hit that 200, you got out of the trade, and she went ahead and pulled on back again. And then here you are, back at that opening price, ready to close. So always remember, when you got to look for a pattern. And right out of the gate, we had two patterns. We had this here expansion pattern. And then I had my 1, 2, 3, which I talk about all the time. If you can count to 3, you can trade with me. 1, 2, 3, boom. She went ahead and took off. Then the exit idea was definitely on the top of that pattern, and get out of the trade, and you're done, and you're off to the beach. Now this is the SPX, so you're talking about 120 maybe per contract. If you got 10 of them, you got them at the lowest price possible. Then we had this inverse head and shoulders. Plus we had the gap down with another big old red candle. I mean, this was set up perfectly. She started consolidating. She did one more dip with a tweezer bottom, created inverse head and shoulders, and then run it up to the 200 SMA and get out of the trade first thing in the morning, or get out of the trade when you hit the double top. You want to learn how to take profit, and all the other stuff will come later. And then you came back at the end of the day, and you seen that we pulled back to that opening price, and that was another reason to take this trade right here. So she come out of the snake, she broke out, boom, back to the 200 by the end of the day, and you're out of that trade. Opening price to the 200 SMA. Now this is all done on the 1 minute time frame. So I just kind of wanted to show you about the broadening expansion pattern, Megaphone, and on how to trade it. And I'll put this content in the bottom of the content, or I'll put this information in the bottom of the content. I'm the Sneaky Snake trading strategy, where I talk about chart patterns, moving averages, and being in the now. And I want you to have a great weekend. Come in Monday energized, exercised, and ready to go ahead and go at it. I always say you need to get your sleep, you need to be healthy, and I've been working out here lately, eating some real good lunches, kind of fasting a little bit, and I'm feeling better than I ever have, and I'm 63, so I'm going to keep kicking it. Y'all have a great day. Retail traders.